Ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump has gotten exactly what he wanted, thank God. Rolling Stone, former Trump investigator must appear for Jim Jordan's circus. Of course, it's Rolling Stone. Anything good that happens for Trump is a bad thing. The circus. Definitely not a circus when they accuse Trump of things he never did. So when BuzzFeed, for example, published the Steele dossier, completely false, nobody cared. The circus started with the Steele dossier, maybe even before that. Nothing they have ever accused Trump of has been true. Even this indictment in New York is like a legal embarrassment. It's an absolute unmitigated political catastrophe for Democrats. He's not going to serve prison time if he gets convicted, which he probably won't, but it's New York, so if he gets convicted, it'll be overturned on appeal, either within the state of New York or the Supreme Court. There's no evidence at all that he did anything wrong. The FEC didn't even find a fine. The FEC, on the other hand, did fine Clinton and the DNC. Interesting how Clinton is fined, and I think Hillary Clinton will be the 24 nominee, I really do. Interesting how Hillary Clinton is fined for the Steele dossier for actually stating its legal services, when in reality she was using campaign funding, the money that Bernie Sanders, like when Bernie Sanders got, $200 million? $200 million, please give me the money so I can go ahead and give it to the Democratic National Committee after they completely railroad me, and then they can utilize that to buy a Steele dossier that's completely fake and phony to set up and frame Trump, which is what they would have done with me with the Bernard dossier and what they might do with DeSantis dossier. They just make things up. Democrats and media routinely just fabricate, make things up, and then they, oh my God, react with utter indignation if Trump is even a little bit hyperbolic. But they're going to have to testify. They're going to have to explain exactly how they came to the conclusion that Trump committed a crime when there's no federal statute that states that he did commit a crime. The DOJ under Merrick Garland, Cy Vance, the former Manhattan District Attorney, none of these people found a crime. The FEC itself did not find a crime. The New York prosecutors are relying on a federal statute to help boost misdemeanors, and the federal statute isn't even listed within the indictment. They haven't even listed a federal crime within the indictment itself. So that should kind of tell you about how all of this is really going down. But Trump is going to get exactly what he wants. He'll get testimony. Jim Jordan is going to make a Manhattan prosecutor involved in all of this, working with Alvin Bragg, and I talk about the Manhattan District Attorney and everyone involved possibly facing indictment, because it is a crime to utilize your position, your post, or your office. If you're a government official, it is a crime to utilize the government against your direct political rivals, which is exactly what Democrats have done from day one. They accuse Trump of doing that, but what Trump does is he goes after the people who falsely accused him. So the playbook is accuse Trump of things he didn't do, get him upset, get him stating he's going to get payback, and then accuse him of going after the people that went after him for no reason. Okay? Democrats have had this obsession with trying to turn Trump into Bill and Hillary Clinton. The problem is that whereas the Clintons, for example, Bill, don't bring me into this, whereas Bill did commit perjury, okay, and there's Whitewater, there's other issues, and Clinton, Hillary, that was a crime. You don't need the Honorable James Comey or anyone to explain whether or not it was a crime. Of course it was a crime to have private servers siphoning classified data. You cannot accept, it is impossible to accept a classified email, much less a top secret or SAP email, from the government on any phone. It is impossible, especially a network that Clinton created with her team of people who, by the way, didn't honor demands by Jason Chaffetz when he was in the House. But anyway, and then they go after Steve Bannon. It's like they're all over the place. But you have a situation where it is a crime. You cannot have servers siphoning classified data or emails out from within the U.S. government onto servers. It is not, when they talk about, well, it was private email. It was a private email. It's like, no. What Clinton did is have private emails and delete those quote-unquote private emails. Nobody even knows if she deleted classified data, which is almost certain. Okay, there was no government involvement there. And when the FBI asked for Clinton's servers, she gave them completely clean, deleted data, no data within the servers, and also her team destroyed hardware with hammers. I mean, it's like you couldn't even make this up. You'd have to be an imbecile to not see the double standard. Even if you think it's better to actually just say, well, the double standard is warranted because Trump is a menace to humanity. Okay, we had record low poverty with Trump. Say it slowly, Democrats. It is a fact. We had record low poverty with Trump in 2019. That alone makes it a moral imperative, in addition to his foreign policy, to vote for Trump in 24. But anyway, hit subscribe to this channel right now. It is impossible to have private servers as a government employee. You can't do that from a cybersecurity perspective. Okay, so President Obama knew. He basically allowed her to do that. And so you have a lot of people within President Obama's administration, including the president himself, who were involved in almost certain illegal activity. Nobody even cares. She'll be the nominee for the Democratic Party. Hillary Clinton will be the nominee. If she wins Arizona and Georgia, she becomes president. If Trump wins Arizona and Georgia, he'll become president. I'm voting for Trump because I don't want never-ending military conflict. Very simple. It's very simple. But if you enjoy inflation and if you enjoy rampant crime and poverty and homelessness and all of these things that are taking place now more so than at any point in time with Trump, then just, if your mentality is, as long as Trump isn't tweeting, ICBMs could be flying above, it's all good, I guess. As long as Trump isn't tweeting. Okay, if your religion is stopping Trump at all costs because you've convinced yourself that he is an existential, dilemma for the planet, then that's your mentality. For the rest of humanity that actually has a functioning, brain, you want to vote against never-ending military conflict and inflation. With Trump, we had a great economy and a great foreign policy. Objectively, we had record low poverty and we didn't have an invasion in Europe. All of these bad things took place because of Biden's policies. Directly because. We'll say, it wasn't his fault that that country was invaded. Oh, well, okay. When you knew that they were putting soldiers on that border for months on end and you got these stupid news reports, intelligence says that they're getting ready to invade. Gee, you think? They're putting hundreds of thousands. You think maybe they're getting ready to invade? So you didn't want to actually push for some kind of deal? Some kind of peace deal, a ceasefire, any of these things? No, I have to stop them. The DNC emails. So it's like, and then they convince themselves when it happens under their watch. Could you imagine if it happened under Trump? It'd be much worse. Like, no, it didn't happen under Trump. It's like taking a car, totaling it, and then say, could you imagine if you were driving it? Well, you totaled the car. I didn't. Could you imagine if I had it? It wouldn't be totaled. That's what the logical response would be. But see, again, they are obsessed with taking down Trump. They're absolutely obsessed. And you have never-Trumpers who, the only reason to be a never-Trumper is because one day you hope media will treat you like the way they treated Paul Ryan. He was like second place for Man of the Year at Time Magazine. That will never happen again. Or maybe he was Man of the Year, who knows? They did an expose of him like lifting weights. It will never happen again. They will, if Mitt Romney put his dog on top of his car, they would have already sent him to The Hague for war crimes. The media will never again accept another Republican nominee. It doesn't even, Liz Cheney, Kinzinger could cry all he wants. It's not going to happen because they know Kinzinger voted alongside Trump 90% of the time. Okay, and yet another thing, January, Trump did not tell anyone that to commit criminal acts. And Kinzinger and Cheney both voted, according to 538, with Donald Trump over 90% of the time in Congress. Anyway, you have a situation where at the end of the day, you're going to get the truth coming out, and you will get testimony that leads to indictments almost certainly. If the testimony is honest and they commit perjury, well then, if it's not honest, it's perjury.